Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How is everybody doing? Ha! Lord have mercy. It looks like hell has officially frozen over with what we got going on for you guys right now. Let me put up the brightness because we're going to have a story for y'all today. Make sure y'all check in. Let's give it like another 2 minutes. Let's let everybody check in. Let me know where y'all are coming in from. Ha! We got a bombshell report for you guys. Yeah, well. It looks like shout out to Too Raw for TV. Well. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Too Raw. You absolutely right, man. Y'all are not gonna believe this, but ESPN finally grew a pair and decided to say what everybody else has been thinking. It is hilarious. It actually is hilarious. Let me give it another minute in from. Let's give another 30. Okay. So let me see this real quick. All right. Let's give it 30 more seconds. Shout out to India. I see we got India in the house. Let's give it another 30 seconds here. And we're going to get into this live here. Okay. Who wrote this? Baxter Holmes. He probably going to get fired. This dude, ESPN probably going to fire him. He a senior writer, but they probably going to fire him. Maybe it was a mistake. They probably didn't mean to publish this. Shout out to Vegas. Shout out to Tony in Vegas. So ill bully, shout out to you. Of course, shout out to my man Too Raw for TV. Let's give it 5 more seconds and then we're gonna get into it. Okay, let's get into this live real quick. Y'all already know ESPN is a LeBron James network. All they do is have people on that network that sit up there every single day and twerk it up on TV, say all kind of crazy stuff just to promote LeBron James. I get LeBron is a great player. We all know this. We all get this. But the kind of twerking that we see on ESPN on a daily basis is a little bit too much. And a lot of us view ESPN, shout out to Seattle, view ESPN as a LeBron network. We think that all they do is sit up there and praise him. You can look on social media with ESPN, NBA on ESPN. This is all they do. So I want to first of all give credit to Ticket TV because he's the one that I saw when I logged back on my computer and I saw had spoken about this, I think 2 hours ago. So I was like, ESPN. So I was getting ready to go to Google because I thought it was just going to be some article somewhere through another website that linked to like the 55th back page on ESPN. So something told me to go to ESPN on the homepage. I go to ESPN's homepage, the NBA section. Y'all can go there right now, but I'm going to show you the article. I'm going to read it for you guys. I'm going to pin it right here in the comment section right there. Let me see if I can pin it at the top for you guys to see it. Okay. I pinned the message right there. Okay, good. So it's there. And the article starts off with the headline. I want to read it for you guys, for the people that are here. It says, set up for failure. What lies ahead for Bronny James and Los Angeles Lakers? This is from ESPN at 12 p.m. today. It says, Rich Paul was sitting on a couch inside his spacious glass wall corner office in Beverly Hills. It was warm mid-September afternoon. He was surrounded by testaments of his success, framed magazine profile, signed memorabilia, a whiteboard with financial projections, a bar cart with top shelf tequila and champagne. He pointed to the wall. On the other side of it, Paul told ESPN was the very spot just a few months ago him and Bronny James discussed the decision of whether to stay in college or declare for the NBA draft. Inside that office, Paul said, Bronny was signing basketball cards when they began outlining his options. Paul, the CEO of Clutch Sports Group, was blunt. He had canvassed executives from across the NBA and said he told Bronny he was not projected to be a first round pick in the draft. Okay, late in June. That he probably was going to be a second round pick, if that he could even go undrafted. Paul asked Bronny what he wanted to do. Okay, what he wanted to do. I just want to hear my name called. Bronny told him. Do you care where it's at? Paul asked. No, Bronny replied. There had been a long chatter about Bronny playing with his father, that LeBron had influenced the decision that ultimately saw the Los Angeles Lakers pick the younger James in the second round of the NBA draft in some way. Let's stop the article right there. Shout out to the people that's coming in and I'm reading from an ESPN article that's pinned to the top, is using, somebody said Africa is using my IP, whatever it is. Let's stop it right there. I thought it was the same Clutch Sports and Rich Paul that said prior to draft night or draft week that if any team drafts Bronny James, listen to this, wasn't it the same Clutch Rich Paul that said if any team drafts Bronny, that Bronny's going to go to, I think, what is it, Australia or Serbia or whatever it is? Isn't that what they said? Or did I get that wrong? Wasn't that what Clutch Sports was saying? That if you try to draft Bronny, he's going to go to another country. That's what they said. But now the destination don't matter. The destination don't matter, yet Rich Paul was putting out statements that if any team drafts Bronny James, he will not show up. I remember that. I think we all remember that. Just wanted to point that out. Let me continue on with this article. It said, nobody pressured Bronny to go pro, Paul said. Bronny had a choice to stay at USC. He had a choice to transfer somewhere else, or he had a choice to go pro. That was Bronny's call, Paul said, and Bronny's alone. And one that publicly and privately drew immediate criticism. Listen to this. It says, since the end of Summer League in late July, during which Bronny averaged 7 points on 32% shooting, alongside 3.5 rebounds and 1.5 assists in 6 games, he has traveled to Paris to watch his father win his 3rd Olympic gold medal for Team USA. He worked out with the Philadelphia 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey and Cleveland Cavaliers guard Darius Garland. Paul said Rob Pelinka, the Lakers vice president of basketball operations and general manager, has told him that Bronny has been a fixture at the team's practice facility in El Segundo, California. That Bronny is the first one in the gym to work with the team's player development. Now, I want to go a little bit further now when it gets to the critics. It says, listen to this. Sitting in the front rows of reporters, Bronny twice referenced the criticism about his decision to go pro. He said he wanted to tune out all the noise and tune out all the people that don't think I should be here. And he wanted to turn all the criticism and backlash into fuel. During a 118-114 preseason loss Sunday night against the Phoenix Suns, Bronny and Lebron made history when they became the first father-son duo to share the court. And then it said Bronny didn't only attempted 1 3-point shot. It said back in the office, Paul defended Bronny time and time again. Bronny is serious, Paul said. This isn't an effing game for him. He wants to play in the NBA, and he wants to play well within his role. Others around the NBA, even those who praise Bronny as a person and boast about the numerous intangibles he possesses that they would want in a player, remain skeptical. I quote, the expectations for Bronny by the fan base and by LeBron and Rich Paul are not commensurate with the reality of his game, one Eastern Conference executive said. If they had any real idea of how far away Bronny is, they would just not have done this. Paul is keenly aware of the narrative around Bronny and wants to shift it, but the narrative has only deepened. In interviews with nearly 24 front office executive coaches and scouts across the league, those who for years have tracked Bronny's journey to the NBA, a 2-part consensus has emerged. That Bronny James, the most famous second-round pick in league history, not only isn't ready for the NBA, but was also drafted by the one team that presents the most challenging dynamic for him to succeed. That is the daily noise surrounding him and the Lakers will be both deafening and defeating. And that the feel-good storyline of Bronny James playing alongside his father will soon give way to the reality that Bronny is not an NBA. The reality of Bronny James in the NBA. You're setting up for failure. One Eastern Conference scout said, who evaluated Bronny for years, said, it's like, what's the expectation here? And then the article goes on of other people saying, it says, but more than that, he said, Bronny is LeBron's son, And if anything remotely comes close to once-in-a-generation play playing with his father, then Bronny, at the very least, warranted a look. I wouldn't be doing my job as an evaluator if I didn't write a report. And this article basically goes on to say why ESPN, according to other sources, is basically saying that Bronny isn't ready for the NBA. And they're saying that it's going to be a failure and he is set up to fail. Most of the NBA executives believe that he's not an NBA player. But you don't need to be an NBA executive to believe that. You can watch the footage. Now, why do we say breaking news, ESPN turns on LeBron James? Why do we say that? The reason we said that is no television personality would dare, with the exception of Chris Mad Dog Russo, would dare say that Bronny's not ready for the NBA. Nobody. Not Kendrick Perkins, not Stephen A. Smith, not Shannon Sharp, not Molly Karam, not Malika Andrews, not none of them. And whenever you have any hint of criticism, just yesterday I was watching a segment and they were talking about Bronny's game. They were like, Bronny didn't really play that well. And they said, no, we're not talking about his numbers. We're talking about the moment and what it felt like with him and LeBron. Is this basketball analysis? They don't want to talk about the numbers. And then Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp sit up there on TV yesterday and scold people who are critical or skeptic of this Bronny James experiment. And he said he doesn't like the fact that people are wishing for Bronny to fail and this and this and this. I'm like, who's wishing for Bronny to fail? Bronny genuinely seems like a really, really cool dude. I think most people watching this live would agree that Bronny is a lot more likable than his dad. A lot more likable. He seems like a really, really cool dude. I think he comes across way more likable and relatable than his dad. I think he's more eloquent than his dad. I think he's more charismatic than his father. And he seems to have a little bit more self-awareness. LeBron at Bronny's age had zero self-awareness. He would do things that were cringe. Bronny is not like that at all. So I don't think anybody's rooting against Bronny as a person the way some people may root against LeBron because LeBron James irritates them. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes up to 200 likes. I don't think it has anything to do with that. LeBron genuinely irritates a lot of people. I don't see anybody's criticism of Bronny related to his personality or the things that he says. The issue that people have is that Bronny doesn't seem to be a good basketball player. So people are like, well, if he's not any good, why can't we say it? And why do we have to be labeled as haters or you don't support black men or you don't like your father? If you call out the fact that Bronny isn't any good, at least right now, why does that make you a hater and why can't we say it? We can say it about all the other 449 NBA players, but we can't say it for Bronny James. Why? Why? And to have ESPN, the ESPN network, who constantly protect and promote LeBron, for them to come out here and say that, to even publish the article on their homepage on the NBA section, that Bronny isn't ready, that's damning. Because if you listen to any of the personalities, they never say anything. For the new people coming in, I want to read the part from this article that I have pinned to the top. And it says, and this is from this article here. It says, Bronny is serious, Paul said. This isn't an effing game for him. He wants to play in the NBA, and he wants to play well within his role. Others around the NBA, even those who praise Bronny as a person, as we all just said, as a person, and boast about the numerous intangibles he possesses that they'd want in a player, remain skeptical. The expectations for Bronny by the fan base and by LeBron and Rich Paul are not commensurate with the reality of his game. One Eastern Conference executive said, if they had any real idea of how far away Bronny is, they would not have done this. Let's go back. Let's go back to the part where they say they would not have done this. Hey, guys, let's try to get these likes to 200 likes, guys. For the Eastern Conference executive to say for them have not to do this, it points to a narrative that a lot of people have been talking about. There's some people that actually want to have a straight face, like JJ Redick, who say, oh, no. Bronny absolutely earned his spot on the Lakers roster. Really, did he? Really? Based on what? Based on what did Bronny earn his spot on the roster? Why was Rich Paul going around telling teams if you draft Bronny James, he's going to go to another country? Why? Everyone knows that the play was the Lakers were going to bring Bronny James to LA for a few reasons. Number one, to play with LeBron James and make their star player happy. That's number one. Number two, for the spectacle and the hoopla and the media attention that they're getting right now. Number three, the general manager, Rob Pelinka, said, if you're going to make history with the father and son duo, what better jersey to do it in than the Los Angeles Lakers jersey? They're doing this because they know it's going to make money. This isn't about whether or not Bronny James is a good basketball player. This is about money and also appeasing LeBron James. The issue then becomes when people like us and others and Cameron and others, we got a show coming out later today about what Cameron said. If we point it out, then we're haters. It's almost like just shut up, don't say nothing. Amid Belfort said, appreciate the super chat. He said, Bronny trash. Let's just keep it 100. We calling his game, not his character. So LeBron and the honey lovers, chill out. Chuck, salute, great content. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate your comment, man. Appreciate the super chat. He's 100% right. No one is criticizing Bronny's character. Let's continue on with the article. It then says, Paul is keenly aware of the narrative around Bronny and wants to shift it. But the narrative has only deepened. In interviews with nearly 24 front office executives, coaches, and scouts across the league who for years have tracked Bronny's journey to the NBA, a two-part consensus has emerged that Bronny James, the most famous second-round pick in league history, not only isn't ready for the NBA, but was also drafted by one team that presents the most challenging dynamic for him to succeed. That is the daily cacophony of noise surrounding him on the Lakers will be both deafening and defeating, and the feel-good storyline of Bronny James playing alongside his father will soon give way to the reality of Bronny James, the NBA player. You're setting up for failure. One Eastern Conference executive scout who has evaluated Bronny for years said, it's like, what's the expectation here? What's the expectation here? What's the expectation here? I also want to say this. Let's talk, and this is a very, very, very long article. You guys should go read it. I pinned it to the top there. Let's address the fact of whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Who are we going to blame for this? I was listening to a segment from Too Raw for TV. Oh, God, was it yesterday? Shout out to Too Raw. I think he's in here. Make sure y'all check out his channel. He said that he has nothing against nepotism. That's what Too Raw said. He said, I have nothing against nepotism. He said, but if you're going to get a position through nepotism, you better be qualified. He said he has no issue with nepotism. But if you're going to get a position through nepotism, you better be qualified. Who here believes Bronny is qualified to be in the NBA? Who believes that? Let me read this. Breaking news. Costco reports baby oil stocks back to oh my God, back to normal. Honey, on the other hand, has been a bestseller since 18 minutes ago. Yo, appreciate the super chat, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Who do we blame for this? I think if we're being honest, we got to blame number one, LeBron James. That is the first person I'm blaming. And by the way, I've had this conversation with other parents. I've had it with my parents. I've had it with other people that have kids. I've had this conversation with them to understand of whether or not I'm hating on LeBron. And the consensus that all of them said, because I told them everything that has happened, what LeBron has said, they said that if their kids want to, I don't know, take after them or whatever it is, they will do whatever it takes to help them. But they said, but by LeBron going out there and saying things like, I'm watching League Pass right now, and Bronny is way better than some of these dudes that I'm watching. Or Bronny could definitely play on the Lakers right now. They said that those comments put a lot of pressure on Bronny. That's number one. Number two, if you have LeBron James, who some consider to be the GOAT or the greatest player ever, certainly the face of the NBA, if you are LeBron James, who the national media loves, and you're saying that my son is great and he could be in the NBA right now and all of that, well, they're going to be like, well, if LeBron says he's great, he must be great. So then what happens? They start posting him all over the internet. They start promoting him. In this article, they said at one point during the Summer League game, let me see if I can go back to that part. It said, let me see if I can go back to that part here. It said, from the sideline, a veteran NBA scout watched Bronny's moves across Wintrust Arena in Chicago. It was May 14, the start of the NBA Combine, and 6 television cameras trailed his every move. I was absolutely shocked, the scout said. The scout knew that the then 19-year-old's lineage commanded global attention and intense intrigue. The question is, why are there all of these expectations? And I think the answer is due because of LeBron James. That's number one. Number two, I blame the media. I blame the media for constantly putting out these ridiculous posts. Bronny has a chase down block. Really? Bronny, I think, had 1 or 2 blocks in that game, and they're going to have the nerve to put up a picture of Bronny James and Dwayne Wade talking about the only guards to what I think the only guards in preseason to get more than 2 blocks in their first 2 games. Some of y'all who follow us on Instagram, y'all saw what I put up there. I was like, whoever put this up is a clown. They put up a picture of Dwayne Wade and Bronny James. Dwayne Wade and Bronny James. Nick Wright versus Shannon Sharp in a honey slapping contest. Who you got? Oh, that's going to be Shannon Sharp, man. Oh, hold up. I think Nick Wright will probably start biting Shannon Sharp. So I might give it to Nick Wright. If Shannon gets off that first slap, Shannon will win. But if he misses, if he doesn't get Nick will probably rip off his shirt and start slapping himself with honey. Matter of fact, we got a jar for some of you guys if you want one, and just basically lose his damn mind. I got to give it to Nick Wright. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Those are the 2 people I blame. So what happens from here? I think this season we're going to find out who the true clowns are in sports media. I mean, we know who the clowns are in sports media, but we're really going to find out for real who the biggest clowns are in this business. All the people that talk basketball, that talk about analyzing the game, that will refuse to call Bronny out if he's playing like garbage, you will know that those people are clowns. ESPN yesterday went Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. Shannon Sharp tried to take it to, it happens in college football and it happens in this place and it happens in that. Yeah, okay, we get it. But the problem is Bronny isn't any good. And they're still promoting him. So what are we supposed to do? Not say nothing? Shout out to Zeno Omega. He's not supposed to say nothing? Like, this is the part I'm trying to figure out. We're not supposed to say nothing? And now you got an ESPN senior reporter coming out here and publishing this article on their homepage. All I'm waiting to see is people. All I'm waiting to see is if people on TV gonna keep it a buck. That's what I want to see. If people on TV gonna keep it a buck, as of now, Bronny's not looking like a good NBA player. He's not looking like a. There's a guy that has a channel, is a basketball channel. It's a white dude, and basically I think he analyzes post game footage, and he did 2 Bronny videos, and I think one of his things is like he shouts throughout the video. He's like, "Oh my God, you went here. This is wrong. Oh my goodness, you don't back cut. You're supposed to cut. Get off the ball." I don't know if you guys saw him. He had a pretty big popular video yesterday. This dude has been roasting Bronny James, man. Awful coaching. That dude. Awful. This dude. They put a battery in his back and said, "Go for it." For real. They were just like, "Go for it." He was flame broiling. It's one thing if you're watching the game live, so you're paying attention to different things. You don't really know what's going on. You're not really paying attention to one particular player and the errors. But when you watch that dude's videos, it makes it look like I said, Bronny don't even know what's going on. It makes it seem as if he doesn't know what's going on in a game. And if he can see it, awful, what's the name of his channel? Awful Coaching. If that dude can see it, you want to tell me JJ Redick and them dudes can't see it? You want to tell me that? I think the Lakers, and it's a damn shame, man. You know, I used to be a Laker fan. And ever since Kobe Bryant retired, man, the Lakers have turned into one of the biggest clown shows that we got going in the NBA. Let's just keep it real. The Lakers are if Ben Simmons was a basketball team, it would be the Lakers. Let's put it that way. If Ben Simmons was a basketball team, the Lakers are like the embodiment of Ben Simmons right now. They are like the embodiment of Ben. They are like Ben Simmons in basketball format. Literally. That's the Lakers organization as a whole. The Lakers are Ben Simmons. It's unbelievable. It's one thing if the Lakers are like, okay, for example, people like to make fun of the Clippers. Oh, the Clippers have no history of winning. They have no pedigree of winning. They have no roadmap to go back and look at and say, hey, they have no blueprint, nothing. So if they've been bad for a long time, you can't really say much. They've been bad. But the Lakers, on the other hand, they actually have a pedigree of winning. Bees are angry at their product is being used for glazing the LeBum D riders. All bees, man. Appreciate the super chat. Shout out to Darryl Williams. The Lakers, ever since Kobe retired, have turned into the clown show of the NBA. People don't talk about it. Jeannie Buss is not a great governor. She's not a great. It seems like her thing is like, it's like she took the interpretation of the Showtime Lakers and the fanfare and the flash and the flare. She took that and interpreted it as we're going to turn our product into the clown show of the NBA, and that would be like our calling card. Like when you had the Showtime Lakers, now this is the clown show Lakers. It's all about drama and problems and dysfunction. How many people, even Nick Wright, who's a LeBron James supporter, he says that the Lakers have no leadership, none whatsoever. We've heard various NBA players ask the question, if Kobe Bryant was alive, would he have drafted Bronny James or been cool with the Lakers? And I think the answer is a big fat no. Do you know why? Because Kobe didn't believe in second place prizes and just, oh, let's just do it because I like you. Oh, just come on, go ahead, let's do it together. Kumbaya. Kobe would have been like, he's not good enough. And what gets me is that the Lakers seem to be able to have some sense when it comes to Shaquille O'Neal. They could have drafted Shaquille O'Neal's son. Shaquille O'Neal's son sent his son to, I think, to the G League or whatever. They could have drafted Scottie Pippen. He could have done something. He went to the G League. But you got LeBron James, who only brought one championship there. Just a second, y'all. Let me see this. But you had LeBron James, who only brought one championship there. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes up to 300 likes. And all of a sudden, they now drafting Bronny. So to me, look, the Laker fans, real Laker fans, if you're expecting your organization to turn around, I think the only time Laker fans can expect their organization to turn around is when LeBron retires. For as long as LeBron James is there, just a second, let me put this dude in time. I don't know what's going on with some people out here. Yeah. For as long as LeBron James is here on the Lakers, that organization is going to be an S show. That's the reality. I told y'all, as somebody that supported the Lakers for probably 15 years, I'm not going to even think of supporting the Lakers until LeBron retire. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. 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 I cannot do it. I can't do it. The Lakers are too much of a joke. Let's get to JJ Redick since y'all in here. Let's get to JJ Redick. JJ Redick needs to be careful. JJ Redick needs to be careful. And I want to say this to y'all right now. Do not be surprised if in a year or two, we are talking about the Lakers hiring a new head coach. JJ Redick does a lot of talking. He has a lot of stone-faced expressions. If he believes that that is going to help him win games by talking all of that big grammar that he likes to talk and not go out there and win games, you better believe that JJ Redick will become a scapegoat this season. You better believe that. I want y'all to put this in a context for a second. Can y'all tell me who was Kobe's coach when he came to the Lakers first? I forgot that dude, the dude with the white hair and the glasses. What's that dude's name? When Kobe got drafted to the Lakers, who was the name? Who was his coach again? I forgot his name. Let me pull that up. Let me see. Let me know his name. Kobe Bryant NBA draft pick. What pick was Kobe? Kobe was the 13th pick. Okay. Kobe was the third. What was the name of that coach? Del Harris. Appreciate that. Del Harris. Do y'all know that Kobe Bryant, we're talking about Kobe freaking Bryant, who some people thought was supposed to be the next heir apparent to Michael Jordan. Do you know when Kobe Bryant came into the NBA, he couldn't even get any minutes? Y'all know that? Kobe Bryant could barely play basketball. The coach wouldn't allow it. He's like, you got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself. That was a number 13th pick. But Bronny James, I want y'all to hear this very well. Bronny James is slated to play in the first game in the NBA season while putting up a double single. Shout out to Mitch if you're watching this. Not even a triple single, a double single. This dude consistently puts up double singles, but nevertheless, he's going to be playing in the first game of the NBA season opener for the Lakers. If that don't tell you everything you need to know about JJ Redick and this current Los Angeles Lakers team, then I don't know what to tell you. Yep, he was playing behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. Exactly. And that's Kobe as a 13th pick. Kobe. But Bronny James, since he's LeBron's son, he get to play. I want to get to one last part. They talk about nepotism. Nepotism is good. Nepotism is good. Yeah, nepotism will be good, but the only problem is LeBron don't own the Lakers. LeBron don't own the Lakers, so how is it nepotism? This ain't nepotism. This is LeBron James flexing his power. And what I am understanding is that LeBron James and Clutch Sports are very, very powerful. They are very, very powerful in the NBA. The only team that stood up to Clutch Sports was the Miami Heat, Pat Riley. That was the only team. The Cavs couldn't do it. The Lakers couldn't do it. Clutch Sports is super powerful. They control a lot. They have a lot of NBA free players. So if you don't play nice with them, they won't send free agents to your team. And you pretty much got to do what they want. And if you don't, you're going to see LeBron James hanging towels around his neck, talking about the New York Knicks and posting cryptic posts on tweets, on the Instagram, on Twitter, talking about, man, I love New York, playing in New York. That's what happens when you don't play along with Clutch Sports. So you better believe that this had nothing to do with nepotism. This had everything to do with power. And LeBron James has power in the NBA. Not just in the NBA, he also has power in the media. A lot of power. There are a lot of people that are explicitly connected to him and secretly connected to him. A lot of people. I can go through a list of names that I think are connected to LeBron, whether clearly or not. A list of them. A list of them. Literally. Big names that you wouldn't even think of. They are connected to LeBron. And that's how they control narratives. When you have everybody in your pocket, you can control the narrative. That's how it works. So to have an ESPN writer publish this article, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Who was the person that apparently got fired? He got fired from ESPN. Wasn't it Michelle Beadle? Wasn't it the reason Michelle Beadle had that beef with LeBron? Wasn't it because of that? Wasn't it Michelle Beadle? It was Michelle Beadle. Because she was too critical of him, I think, in his Miami days. So they're powerful. So for ESPN to say this is going to be a big one. But if the big people on TV don't keep it real when it comes to LeBron James this season, I guess we're going to leave it to the independent creators. You know, the people that Stephen A. Smith and these guys say they don't deserve to have a voice because we didn't go to journalism school, or we're not on TV, or we're not on athletes. No one should take us. You know, those people. It looks like it's left to independent media creators to tell the truth. How ironic is that? That the independent creators are the ones that actually tell the most truth. Think about that for a second. It's not the former athletes, and it's not the people on TV. It's the independent guys. That should speak volumes about the space. It's not like that in politics. In politics, most of those guys are independent, and they're gonna tell you, I think this guy's crap. I think Kamala's crap. I think Trump is crap. These are independent guys. It's the politicians that defend their respective candidates and their respective parties. But in sports media, oh man, it's deep. It's really deep. It's really deep.